On the morning of July 5th, at 3:15, the journey to Jarung Mardho began. The rain had not eased. Boulders continued to fall. After 3 hours on the road, the group began their trek on foot from the roadhead at 6:30 in the morning. The path was soaked, steep and slippery due to days of continuous rain. Midway through the climb, Rinpoche suffered from mountain sickness and began to vomit. Frequent rests and the group's collective care allowed him to continue. As the entourage neared the cave, another challenge arose. A swollen waterfall had engulfed the final stretch of the path, turning it into a furious torrent. The crash of falling stones echoed sharply from above, and below them lay a dangerous cliff. Seeing the risk, for a moment Her Majesty hesitated. The thought of returning crossed her mind, but her inner intuition made her pause. They had come this far, overcoming every obstacle along the way. Returning was not an option. With quiet determination, Her Majesty decided that the journey must continue. With no other choice, Rinpoche and Her Majesty had to be carried across the raging current on someone's back, their lives entrusted to the strength and devotion of their companions. A single slip would mean certain death. Against all odds, the group crossed safely. By the time they reached the sacred cave in the early morning, the rain had ceased and the sun emerged softly as though nature itself was offering its blessings. At that very moment, Tashotsering Doji played a jolling melody on his mobile phone, guiding Rinpoche gently toward the sacred cave. The place was serene and breathtaking, and remarkably, size and shape of the cave were exactly as Rinpoche had described in Tsawarong 6 years ago. It was the 10th day of the 5th lunar month, Guru Rinpoche's birth anniversary. On this auspicious day, Rinpoche entered his predecessor's cherished cave. The lone meditator who had remained in this sacred place for the past 18 years offered Guru Rinpoche's hat and mandala offering of body, speech and mind. Rinpoche, who had been suffering from mountain sickness, began to feel better almost immediately after the ceremony, as though the blessings of the place embraced him. Rinpoche then offered Mahakala prayers. 6 years earlier, Rinpoche had said that if he ever managed to visit Jarung Mardho, he wished to offer prayers for every one of us. We are deeply fortunate that he fulfilled this aspiration on this auspicious day. But in the midst of offering the prayers, Rinpoche suddenly began to cry, his voice trembling until he could no longer utter a single word. For a brief, powerful moment, time stood still. Those present were reminded of a similar scene at Chimpu Cave 6 years ago, an unforgettable moment filled with the same profound emotion.
say that nothing would have been possible without.
When he finally completed his prayers, Rinpoche turned to thank everyone who had helped him reach this sacred place despite all the challenges. He said he felt as though he had finally come home. Then, with deep sincerity, he shared the reason behind his tears.
These aren't cries of sadness, like I said. These are the cries of happiness. So I thank everyone here today.
Since the day was of great significance, Rinpoche asked everyone to leave, choosing to meditate alone inside the sacred cave. While Rinpoche was in meditation, the monk prepared a simple tea and snack for him. When he stepped out, Rinpoche shared tea with everyone. He then turned to Her Majesty and his mother, gently asking if they too felt happy to have come to this sacred place.
I'm still sleeping. I'm still sleeping. I'm only dreading crossing that water.
After a while, two men from Jarung village arrived. They informed the entourage that they should leave. Rinpoche and the group began their return from Jarung Mardho at 10:45 in the morning. The descent proved more difficult than the climb as the rain-soaked path had become slippery and treacherous. Rinpoche's mother grew increasingly worried about how they would cross the swollen waterfall on the way back. However, upon reaching the site, they found that the water had miraculously subsided, making the crossing surprisingly safe and manageable. The two villagers from Jarung shared that only a few months earlier, 11 people had slipped and lost their lives on this very path. Hearing that, the entourage understood how dangerous their journey had been and how blessed their return was. From where they stood, the Barkham Tsawarung Ridge could be seen clearly. 6 years earlier at that very ridge, Rinpoche had said that if he ever managed to visit Jarung Mardho, he had two signs to reveal. Now, since Rinpoche is 12 years old, his recollection of past life has passed the age limit, yet Rinpoche experienced a vision, one in which, besides meeting Buddha, he also met Mahakala in the form of deity Mardho, who took an oath to accompany him and clear all obstacles on his path. And remarkably, the path they walked began to mirror that vision, discovering an alternative route, spending the night at the foot of the sacred mountain and in the amphitheater, displaying everything exactly the same scenes Rinpoche has seen in his vision, was no coincidence but the real sign of miracle. For 6 long years they had waited for this journey, and now, despite every obstacle, every fear, every moment of uncertainty, they returned safely, fulfilling a dream long held. For Her Majesty the Queen Mother Ajidoji Wangmo Wangchuk, this was especially meaningful. 6 years ago, she had promised Rinpoche that she would accompany him to fulfill his final wish, connected to his past life. Although she is now 70, Her Majesty trekked every step alongside the group throughout the arduous journey, an inspiring and miraculous feat in itself. The entourage returned to Chengdu on the same day. 3 hours after leaving Danba County, they heard the news that the road they travelled had been washed away by landslides. The sign was unmistakable. It was as though a portal had opened just for their pilgrimage and closed immediately after. After a 6-hour drive from Danba, the entourage reached Chengdu in the evening. That night, they received a picture of Mardho's prayer and a picture of deity Mardho carved onto a stone thousands of years ago. What astonished them was the inscription beneath it, stating that deity Mardho had taken an oath to serve Guru Rinpoche and vairochana for all times to come. This matched perfectly with Rinpoche's own vision, in which Mahakala vowed to accompany him and remove all obstacles. The alignment of these two sacred signs reaffirmed that despite the many challenges faced on the pilgrimage, deity Mardho had indeed protected them throughout. Rinpoche had also mentioned 6 years ago in Tsawarong that when he arrived there in exile, he did not walk but rode a white horse, another detail closely linked to deity Mardho and his white horse. On the morning of 10th July, Rinpoche visited the temples at Wotaishan. At 4:50 in the morning, Rinpoche offered prayers with 27 Buddhist monks at Pusading Monastery. Remarkably, the day coincided with his Bhutanese birthday. It symbolized the closing of the first chapter of his life and the beginning of a new phase as he prepares to join Tango University next year. Visiting Manjushri at such a pivotal moment was deeply auspicious. On this blessed day, receiving the blessings of knowledge and clarity from Manjushri, the embodiment of wisdom, beautifully marked a new chapter of Rinpoche's academic and spiritual journey ahead.